Congratulations, Colman, on a very good year, the year of Colman Domingo. Two very good movies, Rustin and The Color Purple.
Oh,
Congratulations.
thank you so very much, Jen.
And I want to know, my first question is, how did you find out about the Golden Globe nomination? And where were you? And who was the first person you shared the good news with?
First of all, thank you so much. This Golden Globe nomination means the world to me, especially for my portrayal by Rustin, who is a personal hero. I think it continues to take him out of the shadows of history and place him center stage and the fight for civil and human rights. So thank you to all my colleagues there. And I found out at about, because I wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and it was a chilly LA morning. Yes, it does get chilly here. And I put on a fire. I put a log on the fireplace, and I was sitting there with my morning coffee. And then I opened up Twitter, and I saw, I think it was about 5:35 or something. And I saw that, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, the Golden Globes are today. Because I usually try to keep them out of my head so I can just, someone said, be hopeful, expect the most, but prepare for just, I don't know, whatever. There's a great saying, but I don't have an expectation. So I started watching them, and I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't watch. But then I saw Lenny Kravitz got a nomination. I was like, oh yes, 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 yes. And then I was like, oh, I don't want to watch. I'm too nervous. And then I went back and forth between wanting to watch, not wanting to watch. And then more of my colleagues were getting nominated, like Natasha Lyonne and Danielle Brooks and Davon Joy Randolph. And I got excited. And then it went to the main show, and I thought, oh no, I can't watch this. So I stood up actually, and I was like, oh, I can't watch this. I heard the category for Best Actor, and I sort of walked away from the computer. And then I heard my name, and then I just I raised my arms up like this. My husband was sitting over. He starts crying. He's very emotional about moments like this because he knows how hard I work, and he just wants my work to be amplified. And so he wishes things like this for me. So I shared it with him, and then immediately my entire team of publicists and agents and managers all called and got on a Zoom. And it was cute because everyone was wherever they needed to be. One publicist was in the bed. One had toothpaste a little bit on her nose. One was on his way to work in New York. Another one was with his kids. But it was really beautiful because everyone was just where they are and just really celebrating together. Because whatever honors that I get, it's for everyone who I work with and people who pour love and light into me. So it's a celebration for so many people.
Congratulations again.
Thank
So
you, Jim.
now let's talk about your portrayal first of the civil rights activist Bayard Rustin, how you got the part, and how was this journey for you?
This journey was monumental. It started some years ago, actually, when it actually was in the hands of another director. Lee Daniels actually was putting it together, and he handed me the script and he said, "This is perfect for you." And then, since Lee was working on another film, he sort of stepped off of it. So he sort of like handed it over and stepped away. I made a point to have a beautiful dinner date with Bruce Cohen, who's the lead producer on it, because I knew that Bruce was going to produce it. And he said, well, let's have dinner sometime. I said, great, when? He said, how about next week at ABC Kitchen in New York? And he didn't know that I lived in LA. I said, that sounds great. So I flew myself to New York for dinner. He had no idea. I just told him that. I said, no, I flew to have dinner with you because it was that important to me. And then I know that they were, once they got George C. Wolfe on board, George had to have his creative license to think of who was the best buyer for him. So in a way, I sort of graciously backed off. I didn't lobby for the role. I just energetically believed that it would be in alignment, and I hoped. And so I finally got a call, months later, with an invitation to play by Rustin without an audition, because I had worked with George on Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, so he got a sense, an idea. He knew how I worked. So I just knew we would make something special together that was meaningful. Mm-hmm. And I think, actors, we can do many things, and I'm on different television shows and things like that. But something like this doesn't come along every day. It doesn't. To play one of your heroes, someone who has impacted so much that you care about. And so it was an opportunity to build a fantastic character who's so unlike myself, but who's so smart and charismatic and interesting and has a strange mid-Atlantic standard accent and uses his body in such a joyously defined way, sings Elizabethan love songs. Who wouldn't want to attack a character like that? You know, invite that character into your body. So I was just very excited to go on the journey, and I spent about 5 months of preparation for it. I do prepare pretty rigorously because I know I'm the actor that I really like the idea of you not seeing the work, for you to just the essence and soul of the character to finally just exist. But I have to do a lot of work to get there. I do a lot of work that no one will ever see on camera. You know, making decisions about how he eats or sleeps, or I'm not a method actor, but I need to know everything I could possibly know about the time frame he lived in, what was on the radio, who was in politics, you name it. So once I download all of that into my body and make choices of his voice and his body and the way he moves through spaces, then I had a handle of the character, and I knew that I had, and also this has been my first leading role in a motion picture. I've supported many of my colleagues for years, but I knew that I was finally able to do it because I knew the intent of our film, which was to rouse people, to invigorate that spirit of purpose and civics in people, believing that ordinary people can do extraordinary things just by taking part in our democracy. So I wanted to find that fire and fuel in Bayard's eyes that would reach out to audiences and sort of really, I just embrace an audience and say, there's possibility for you, possibility for us, if we just hang in there and join together and look after each other. So it's been the privilege of my entire career, to be honest. This has been a hallmark of my career, to be honest.
What did you discover about him after doing this movie and after your research?
I discovered that he had such a fantastic curiosity about people, that he was also someone who was sociable and loving and graceful, and he was brilliant. He was very smart. That's the thing I learned. I loved learning how his brain worked and how he sort of was the smartest person in the room, but he also invited everyone else to be as smart as possible too. He really, that was part of like his appeal. He was sort of the Pied Piper in a way, inspiring young people in particular to like be their fullest selves. So I learned that, and Bayard has taught me a lot about, for myself, to be honest, to sort of like own my power and to stand tall and firm in what I believe. And if it's always coming from a purposeful place, and if it's always coming from love, people can hear it.
Mhm. And then you also do The Color Purple, which is another amazing film, musical.
Which is the opposite of
Uh,
Byron.
so how was this experience, you know?
That was fantastic. It's funny to me because I really thought after, because I did Rustin first, and then I went to The Color Purple. So I have a character where I had to find all the light and inspiration, and then I had to find darkness and pain and an abusive nature and hurt and harm, and be the center of that storm for the cast. At the same time, providing grace and love and support to my female castmates for their storylines and to also lead the film. Fantasia is the number one on the call sheet, but as number two, and Fantasia was her first film, I had to look after her. I had to look after the set. But I was prepared because I had Rustin in me. So it was good. It was, the way I needed to explore Mr. was to find out why hurt people, to find that part within myself. Because I have to, there's no way I can judge a character. I have to love a character to play it. So I had to find, what do I love about Mr.? I had to find how he was optimistic when he was younger and how his dreams were deferred, and how whatever the weight of the world, being a Black man in the 20th century America, what did that do to him that made him feel small and made him feel that he had to oppress others, to find out where he hurts and where he aches, and then why he inflicts pain upon someone, because I think that will make us more human. So I wanted to craft that character and also find his arc, even vocally and physically, of when he's more free and enlightened in his life, to where he's shrouded in darkness and sort of eating himself up alive from within, till he becomes a very small person, at the end. So that having that dichotomy of characters, it was such an incredible opportunity for me in my career to play all the notes of humanity. And yeah, I've had the time of my life.
I think this movie was very transformative for all the cast members, especially you, your character. Like everybody will hate you at the beginning and then learn to love you in the end. So,
Yes,
how transformative was it for you?
very much so. I define, first of all, with every character, again, I come from the theater, so I really build character from the ground up, make decisions on how they move their hands and how they move their bodies, where their voice is placed, and the reasons why. Like why, when he's younger, as Mr., his voice has a bit more light in it and a bit more buoyancy. And then because of tobacco smoking, because of wear and tear, heartache, all that, how it weighs on your voice. So I want to make all of these decisions and be transformative in that way. I need them to see a different person. It is not Byron Rustin. It is not me. It is I use elements of myself to help confuse it and become a character. And that's the joy that I have of the work that I do. And I think that's why I think by now people understand that that's the kind of actor I am. I've always sort of my North Stars have always been peers like Christian Bale or Philip Seymour Hoffman or Dustin Hoffman or Harry Belafonte Jr. People, these are true character actors who are also leading men, but who can really shapeshift and fall away and let you just see the character's journey. And that's what I've always enjoyed. I know that it doesn't seem to be many examples of people who are in my skin, but I think that's always been my North Star when it comes to performance.
Mhm. And one other film that is kind of surprise also is this comedy Drive Away Dolls, which is coming up in February. How how do you choose your roles? It's like a variety of roles that coming up for you. Can you tell
It's
us
so
more
good.
about this?
The beautiful thing is, it's like after you've been working for a while, people invite you. They see sort of your superpowers. Like Ethan Cohen invited me to play this. I didn't audition. He just said, "Hey, I think that you would have a good time with this." And usually those directors are the directors that understand that it's something I haven't done before. They don't want a version of something they've seen before. They thought he's an actor who would dig in and find all the interesting intricacies of this character and have a good time with it. And we can find it together. And so I love working with Ethan and Trish on this. We really created something fun and wild and I don't know. I think it's just a wild, fun, dark comedy. So I'm having a great time.
Mhm. And congratulations also, you're getting the London Critics Inaugural Derek Malcolm Award.
Thank
So
you.
congratulations on that and other accolades that you'll be getting. And
Thank you.
what are you looking forward to in this award season? And tell us more about your plans.
You know what? I'm looking forward to sitting down with, I don't know, people who I've admired, long admired, old friends. I've been starting to do that already during this press campaign. You're seeing people that just had a lovely meal with Al Pacino the other day, which was lovely. And we're able to just speak as artists and you find out what makes them, what drives them. They're inspiring. So I think that I look forward to being in rooms with, you know, my entire community that involves critics, that involves, you know, Golden Globe voters and nominees and fellow artists and craftsmen, the people who make this business run, who devote their life. Because I think what we do is a life of service to entertain, to inspire, to enlighten. This is my community. So I look forward to just being out there. I love hanging in corners of parties, getting to know someone who doesn't do anything that I do. Somebody who works in the costumes department, a critic, you name it. I love it because I'm like, what do you do? Well, how do you see your function in what we do? Because we're doing it together.
And also, I love your fashion. I love your passion for fashion. You're always
Thank you.
doing so well on the red carpet. Do you have any inspiration?
Oh yeah, lots of inspiration. It's funny because the wildest thing is this. Just the other day, there was a quote about my of who they likened me to in a major newspaper. Oh, the Guardian newspaper, and I was shocked because that's what I always aspired to be. They said, "Is he the new Cary Grant?" And
Oh,
I thought, Cary Grant has always been an inspiration for style. I have a book about style with Cary Grant in it. And I literally told my stylist, I'm like, you know, Cary Grant, that's sort of the way I like to appeal to people. Effortlessly luxurious. So I've been working with some fantastic brands and people who want to dress me. Thank goodness, that's nice. And people who want to also create with me. So we want to create some custom things because I think clothing is a way to, I don't know, not only tell your story, but I like to make people a little happy with it. Like I remember, I'll just tell you this, when I wore that hot pink Versace suit at the Oscars some years ago, that became a thing. And only became a thing because when I put it on, my tailor and the stylist, my tailor, this sweet older Latino woman, started crying. She says, "You have to wear that. You have to wear that." I said, "Why?" And she said, "Because we were in the pandemic. People need to have fun. You're going to make people feel like they have fun." So I know that that's the power. So what I wear is to inspire people to feel something.
Oh.
So that's all I'm going to do. So we'll see what I wear, but it'll always, the thinking is I always want people to feel something when they see me.
Well, I can't wait to see you on the red carpet of the Golden Globes.
Thank you, Mom.
Congratulations again, Coleman, and nice chatting to
And
you.
you
Thank
too. It's good
you.
to see you. Good to see you again.